Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another buggy day in the R Factor 1 world. Yet again, we have got tanking FPS issues due to GID, but we'll do our best to ignore them for the time being. It's unfortunately just a quirk of the plugin, and yes, I mean, in fact, in theory, I could just come here and do this, and we'd have fine FPS. So I think we'll do that, actually. We can always have this and see where everyone is. I think that'll work, for now, at least. It's a decent trade-off for the minute, whilst we wait for this race to get started. So I should introduce myself. I am Tom Dillon. I will be your commentator for today's race. This is the SAL Academy Round 7 here in... And someone joined, Lagspike, of course. Round 7 here at I've never heard of this track before, actually. It is Curitiba in Brazil. I know it's in Brazil. And let's take you through the drivers that we've got racing today. So I've got a tape delay there. So we've got Sean Jones, Alessandro Maggio, Kevin Veichers, Joe Gillett, Valentino Santelli, Christian Steiger, Manuel Alvarez, Sanchez, Halil Sahin, not me, and Mohit Samra. So if you bear with me 1 second, I have got to go and moan at Mohit for not using his proper name in chat. So, qualifying has got underway, and I swear to... Well, I swear to something that... it's almost comical that an app causes you no issues for about a year. Then all of a sudden, when you're about to stop using it, it messes up on you. So, that's just unfortunately a classic thing, and my... There we go, you can hear now. It means I can barely hear myself, but at least you can hear properly the going-ons around this track. This is Christian Steiger in 6th position. Live chat. There we go. And we will have a 10-minute qualifying session coming our way as Manuel Alvarez Sanchez, the championship favourite at the start of the season, loses it on his outlap. This is Nicholas Romacci, the champion. A resounding success this season has been from Romacci. And if I am correct, I believe he has won every single race in this championship. And with it 2 rounds to go, he's looking to carry on that complete and utter dominance of the series and get this sorted. Let me just check the spreadsheet to validate my point. So yes, Romacci has had a clean slate. 1-1-1, 1-1-1. All over the all over the standings so far. Of course, he is the champion. 150 points to 78 points. James Smith in second place. Dominance, you would say. No less than dominance from Nicholas Ramachi, whose ping is rather high right now, though I believe that's probably me not liking this server, as I do tend to have issues with this specific server while streaming. But it shouldn't be a problem. Maybe it will be a problem, but we'll see. Clearly my PC wasn't designed to be streaming, but unfortunately I am a last minute understudy for Jacob Reed, who is meant to be streaming the race today, but he's doing a Petite Le Mans stint over in some league that's doing the Petite Le Mans. So that's good for him, I suppose. So Ramachi, will he be able to pull out the 8 from 8, which would be mega from him? I personally think he will. If we actually have a look at the standings right now, he is second place only. Sean Jones is in first place with 6 minutes to go. Not sure what's going on there. Anyway, we are going to look at Sean Jones. I've really lost my eye for commentary over this lockdown period. Not quite the brilliant young nipper that I used to be back in the brilliant times of August. But Ramachi is going to look to set a new lap. Check that number on the bottom of your screen. He is unable to take pole position as of yet. This could be a very important session for Ramachi, as he makes a bit of a meal of turn 1 and 2, heading it down to turn 3. It's going to be a late break, and it's so difficult to spot your braking in these cars. Down to third gear, second gear, possibly flick it into first on the apex. No, he's going to opt to keep it in second. And then cresting on a late apex, but he's gone very wide. Karting line almost from the champion. A lovely tight line through the next section, using all of the track on the exit. Now braking once more, down to third gear. He's just feathering that throttle through that final right-hander. And down across the line. He's going to stay in second place, unable to get those 2 tenths needed to take on Sean Jones. But, as you can see, there are 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in this qualifying session. So it's not over yet. As Ramachi, I imagine, will probably remind you. Although he doesn't really care about the 8 from 8. I imagine he just turns up and does what he can. He's already the champion. This is Manuel Alvarez Sanchez, currently sitting in P3. He was the favourite for the championship, you'd say, earlier on in the season. Heading into that first round seems so long ago now. But wasn't to be from Manuel. In reality, ends up settling for a fairly midfield finish in this championship. In probably the best reading game livery there ever was. As you can see him lighting up the tyres on the exit of the left-hander there. Yes, it is the left-hander, isn't it? Santelli following him through, along with Joe Gillett, actually. A driver's eye now for Manuel. We'll see if he's able to take second place. Potentially, no. He stays in third, which I suppose isn't surprising. Now, this is Sean Jones in first position. As we have the lack of GID, I will attempt to let you know where everyone is on the circuit. Once again, I do apologise for that issue, but it's not an overall benefit over the FPS. This is Ramachi crossing the line. I assume this is to start a flying lap. As I'm going to keep this overlay on, because you can see in the top left-hand corner, the speed, the RPM and the gear. So he's going to go down to third gear for the first two corners. He's really just kind of flopping the car around there. It gets very loose on him and he's just trying to manage that oversteer in corner entry. Using the maximum of the tyres, braking on the grass a little bit there, and he's going to come around for a late apex. Use all the curb on the exit. Didn't quite make the apex there. Possibly going to lose in those 2 tenths, you would say. He's now braking as late as possible. Again, going a little bit wide through that long, winding left-hander. Now he's really opening up the car. Flat foot pinned. Heading through the next corner. Foot stays pinned all the way through sector 3. Now, final corner, I believe this is. So it is. Fourth gear, really exiting, slow in, fast out is definitely his philosophy. And he's able to take pole. A little bit of lag on the display, but 1/10 with 1 minute and 44 seconds was to go in this session. Can Sean Jones reply? He's currently on a flyer. You can see in the bottom corner of your screen again the position. This is going to be his penultimate lap, I believe. You can watch that timer tick down as we wait. Second gear. Exiting the final corner. Let's have a look. Is Sean going to be able to do his final lap? He is. Mamachi isn't going to be able to do a final lap, it seems. And Sean is out of the qualifying session. He yields, which suggests to me that Mamachi or Sanchez are now on a bid for pole position. Sanchez will be able to do one final lap, and it's going to be a push as to whether Mamachi can. I don't think he'll need to, but it'll be interesting to see if he does. 59.207 is the time to beat, and Alvarez Sanchez will not be particularly wanting to yield just yet. Let's keep an eye on that clock as he crosses the line. He'll be crossing the line in a minute, so I should say him himself has got 4 tenths to gain on the pole sitter. If he's able to do it, time will of course tell. As he is going to cross the line, not going to improve as of yet. He does improve by 1/10 actually, and he's going to keep going. No, he pulls out, which suggests to me that with 4 seconds left in the qualifying session, it is going to be Mamachi on pole, who miraculously is able to do a final lap. Alessandro Maggio will be looking to set his own bid for pole position, although 5 tenths down, it's looking a little bit bleak for the Italian. We'll have a look at what he's able to do from the driver's eye. Little bit of grass, you have to say that Maggio will feel like he's bottled this performance here. But there's a few corners to go yet. And no, he ducks into the pits. So that is qualifying over. And as you can see, it is Nicholas Rashi on pole position for today. And he's going to try and improve on his lap anyway, it looks like. As we can see him cresting the final corner. Of course, stays in pole position. And that is session over. And let me just sort out this, because we're going to be coming to this screen a lot. So I ought to sort this out here. And get a nice, fashionable sensor on chat. And then I can simply press P whenever we don't need it. And Anthony says we're going in 4 minutes. Which means we'll be going to a quick 4-minute break now. And in 4 minutes' time, we will be back to give you a presentation of the penultimate round here in Brazil. 1 minute to go now. Should have put your Minecraft skin on the black box, says Jake Dennehan. That would have been a good idea, actually. Whilst I was in studio mode, you could have given me that idea, but never mind. I was trying to sort out some race graphics, but seems no tech is working today. I apologise for the massive audio peak there. And yes, that isn't happening either. So we will be going to qualifying any second now. And I should use the sensor box that I set up. We'll just quickly resize this for your lovely viewing needs. I think that's about as best we're going to get here, to be honest. As Anthony said, we'll be going at 7:15, but that's not to be. Valentin Talbot has joined the session during the warm-up session. Mohit Samra, very notable name in the world of... In this world, sitting in P9. Another couple of interesting names you may have noticed. I believe Joe Gillett picked up P5, which was a good result for Gillett Juniors, who haven't got a second entry today. Unable to find a last-minute replacement to their previous driver. It will be a 19-lap race. I'm just going to tell Anthony that laps are set. It'll be a 19-lap race, and I believe we'll be going soon.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
Looks like my message to Manuel will have to wait. But we will be going to the grid, and no formation lap, I have to remember. There is no formation lap in this series. That's something we need to remember. 13 seconds to go until the lights start coming on. Let's get to first place quick, and just quickly remove the black box for you. As kilometers per second dropped a lot there. But, oh dear. Well, we're finally back. And we wait for the lights. They are on. Wasting no time to get going is this race as we do get going. And it's been a good start from the Prime GP. Sean Jones just gets ahead, but then Ramachi's better top speed comes into play. You can see everyone going down into turn 1. I believe there's an incident there. A slight tap with the reading game car of Manuel Alvarez Sanchez and the Prime GP of Alex Maggio. This is Sanchez. We're on board with him now. He's trying to pressurise Maggio into a flank. Maggio weaving and weaving, trying to block off the attack from the Spaniard, and I think Manuel has just managed to squeeze through there. Still a lot of time to go as they are side by side through Sector 2 into the long right-hander, sorry. No, yes, left-hander. And it looks like Maggio's just come out on top there. This is Kevin Weichers looking for a move on Steiger. I don't think he's going to be close enough just this lap. I'll have to wait for the straight. Jack Denner asking when the return of TFM news is. And I'm sure we'll get to that later if this does turn out to be a boring race. But so far, it's been pretty interesting with Weichers still going for a move on Steiger. I'm not sure if it's going to make much of it. And Steiger pulling off some aggressive defensive moves there. And Weichers is just having to kind of sit back a little bit. They make a little bit of contact ahead. One mandatory pit stop, remember, in this race. A notable thing to notice about that rule is that, of course, there was an incident a few races back where it was red flagged without a pit stop. Of course, if that happens, everyone who didn't make a pit stop will be given a 20-second time penalty. This is Manuel Alvarez Sanchez managed to get past Sean Jones for a brief period of time, I saw, just ahead, but has unfortunately for him, dropped back into P3, but Maggio is trying to go for a move on him, and Sanchez, absolute dive bomb down the inside of Sean Jones, pushes him outside a little bit, as now Maggio is trying to go for a move. Let's have a bit of a look of this from Sean Jones' perspective. This is a replay, of course. I don't think he was expecting Manuel to make that move, and he just suddenly seems to be understeered into. Whether that was something that will be reported as stewards, we will see. But Sanchez is up into second place, and these primes fighting isn't going to do them any wonders in this one. Joe Gillett is looking to prowl on these podium positions. And then it's Weitschers who managed to get ahead of Steiger. Steiger, of course, going for a move down the inside. Very adventurous there, but not quite going to happen, really. It wasn't the most realistic of moves there. This is Mohit Samra sitting down in P9. Not ideal from him. Let's have a look at the gaps quickly, looking at this. Valentino Santelli being just behind Mohit Samra, and that gap being about 8 seconds. So not ideal from the Indian or the Italian, I'm assuming. Santelli, who's having a bit of a nightmare. This is a little bit comical on his behalf, as you can see live pictures in the corner of your screen. It's actually Sahin behind Santelli. No, just ahead of Santelli. Something must have happened on the timing graphic for that, as Sahin does make a mistake. And must be out this race. Beached in the gravel, I think. He's certainly not in a hurry to get going again. Not sure what he's doing here. Not sure what is going on with Sahin. Well, suddenly something at Santelli has also gone off. Now, was there another car involved in that incident, or was it just on its own? Let's have a look at this replay. I believe he just loses it. Rookie error there. Not actually sure what happened. But we can have a look at the slow-mo cam. I feel like he just locks up and then locks up the rears on the grass, and a very rookie error. Not what you expect, really. As the order is now Sahin Santelli, Valentin Talbot, Mohit Samra, Christian Steiger, Sean Jones, Joe Gillett, Kevin Weitschers, Alessandro Maggio, Manuel Alvarez Sanchez, and Nicholas Romacci, who actually looks in prime position to take this 7 out of 8 sort of finish here. But I would like to know what happened to Sean. We'll have to speak to him after the race, as now Weitschers is coming under pressure from Joe Gillett. The slipstream's so important in these cars as Joe goes around the outside into turn 1. And that is an excellent move. If he's able to pull it off, I think he is. What a move from the Englishman in the Gillette GP. His own car, of course. Sean Jones is able to follow him through, using that slipstream to just get ahead of Weitschers. What a double kill from the two drivers there. And Weitschers is looking to make his own move in this one, getting past Gillett nicely. A lovely little ding-dong battle between these three. Interesting to see what happened to Maggio. As Santelli has, without a front wing, we'll see what happens here. Sitting down in 11th. He does get passed and lapped. Possibly a penalty in the post-race. That looks like it's going to be staying out as well with a broken front wing. It looks like, or he's in no man's land there. Not the most impressive performance from him, but he is back out on the track, albeit down in P10. The rest of the order stays mostly the same, apart from this battle here. And then, of course, Sahin has to go to the grass, and that is a stupid thing to do from Sahin. That was... I am lost for words. That was stupid. Retiring from the race. Let's see what happens here. He goes to the grass and then spins and takes out Gillett and Weitschers. Completely irresponsible driving from Sahin. I hate to be blunt about it, but this is Talbot and Samra having a bit of a battle. F1 2014's finest. And there's that was Santelli also having another spin. Those two must be punished harshly, you imagine, from the stewards after this one. Talbot, a very good driver in his own right, and of course, Mohit Samra finding... I mean, that's not allowed for a start. But he's picked his line in the braking zone at least. And torpedoes across the track. Who needs brakes when you have the ultimate inside line? Talbot trying to find a way past Samra, who he's clearly a lot faster than. Talbot being on keyboard, more experienced as well. And he's able to understeer into Samra, actually. As, I'm not sure Samra's acting the most sportsmanlike here. Not my call to make, though, as I am only seeing this once. But Talbot's still trying to find a way through. As I'll let you know how long we've had in this. We're about halfway through the race. As Samra again, weaving excessively. You were not allowed to do that. What is this driving, says Jake Dennerton. I'm struggling to keep it together, actually. This is very, very poor. I wouldn't be surprised if these two get into a bit of a tangle. And Mohit! They do get into a tangle. From my point of view, that looked like Mohit's fault completely. I'm very quick to judge that. But let's have a look from Talbot's on board. And no, it wasn't. I do apologise, Mohit. Or was it? Let's have a look. It looks like he just... I don't know. It looks like Talbot loses it by himself, but it was sort of caused by Samra intervening with him. Fury in disguise. I don't know if that was Valentin's fault. I will have to check the replay as Mohit's lost it. I'm afraid this isn't going to look pretty. What did he do there? I apologise for laughing here, but a little bit of incompetence. I've got to keep cool and composed, but I do not understand physically how this accident has happened. How someone is able to... He turns in. Why would you turn in there? And he spun again. I apologise to the people actually racing in this event. But this driving is simply quite astonishing. I think he tried to go into the pits. That's possibly a good call, actually, Ryan. But still, I'm not sure. Oh my! Wow! Santelli gets airborne. What's happened here? Oh my god. Oh my goodness. What has happened? I believe he just gets on the grass a little bit. Loses the car on throttle, it appears. And right into the wall. And he's out. No, he's staying in the pits, but we need to focus on what's happening ahead. As Valentin Talbot comes into the pits and they tangle in the pit lane. How is that possible? This is Joe Gillett going for a move on Vitchers for 6th position. We'll just leave him to it for a second as we try and find... Vermachi does come in for his pit stop. on lap 12. Gillette still trying to make a move on Vitchers. And I'm a little bit astonished here, I have to say, at this driving standard, as I chop my phone onto my computer. But yes, certainly not ideal. Here, Ramachi is cruising so far. In fact, he's a pit stop ahead. And he's still winning. We've got a couple of retirements from this race. Halil Sahin, as Sean does break the no chatting rule. As Mo hits a lap down and Santelli takes out Talbot. I refuse to believe that this is happening. What has happened there? I am frankly astonished at the amount of incidents in this race. I have no words for this standard of driving seen in the lower midfield of this, and it's out of context. It's out of normality, really, for Valentin Talbot, who's normally a clean driver, podium finisher in Vals, I'm pretty sure. But this is Sanchez and Sean Jones having a battle. Two drivers who are actually competent and know how to play this sim. I'm not saying that the others don't. Everyone has bad days, but I've had my own bad days myself. In Santelli, again, basically has to stop to let these drivers through. As now Vitchers is going for a move on Alvarez. Sanchez unable to quite make it, and wow, at least you've had your entertainment. I'm actually still in the lead. Please give him the black flag. I say that probably isn't too out of the question to this point, as the stream on my client has crashed, but it's okay on my screen. I believe my phone internet has gone down. There we go. No, we're good. But not ideal at all. But how many laps have we got left in this contest? So I'm actually about to start his 16th lap. We've got about 4 laps to go. But this has been an interesting race. Definitely. As Santelli's in for his pretty much 3rd stop of the day. He's 5 laps down. He's got points, but he's 5 laps down. I think astonishment is probably the wrong word. I'm interested to see Ramachi setting constant 1 minute 59 seconds, his slowest. You can see his pit stop lap 1:22. Let's have a look at one of these lower cars. Not even scratching. Santelli, 15 seconds down. 4 seconds down on his best lap. And still, he takes them out again, I'm pretty sure. No, that's just lag. Surely, this has to be a disqualification. Appalling driving standards. And again, I apologise for being rude, but from what I can see, you know, in the commentary box, this has been a horrendous driving display. And I mean, I've had my fair share of horrendous driving displays, but I don't think it even counts to this, as Joe Gillett goes for a lovely little move there. Vitcher's coming back at him, and I'm afraid the driving that we've seen kind of outshadows these lovely little battles between these two. Of course, they're making little bits of contact, but it's acceptable, at least. But we'll have to see if he finishes 5 laps down, or he actually ends up being even further down in this race. I can't see Ramatchi. Oh, I can see Ramatchi. With 2 laps to go, he could end up 6 laps down. Right, we'll update you on the order with the final 2 laps in mind. Nicolas Ramatchi is in 1st position, Alessandro Maggio is in 2nd position, Christian Steiger is in 3rd position, Sean Jones is in 4th position, Manuel Alvarez Sanchez is in 5th position, and Joe Gillett is in 6th, Kevin Veichers, pressurising Joe Gillett, is in 7th, Valentin Talbot in 8th, Mohit Samra in 9th, and Valentino Santelli in 10th. Again! Doing horrendously in this race is probably the nicest way to put it. 6 laps down! In a 19-lap race, as Ramatchi starts his final lap and he's spun again! Almost takes out some of the front runners. But we should not let it overshadow as Gillett. I may have pressed my stop streaming hotkey, but that's not important. As Ramatchi is ready to round off what has been an amazing performance once again. He's about to cross the final corner in this one to take the victory. 1 more lap. 1 more race to go and he will be 8 out of 8. But currently it's 7 out of 7 for a completely dominant Val driver. Alessandro Maggio finishes in 2nd position. Christian Steiger will finish in 3rd, it appears. Sean Jones in 4th. Joe Gillett in 5th. And Kevin Veichers disconnecting the final lap. Talbot! I think he finished. He did. He did. He finished 7th. Samra 8th. Alvarez Sanchez, I believe. Possibly just a disconnect. But, ladies and gentlemen, that has been a very eventful... I think this picture of the Gillette GP car sums it up. But it has been a very eventful race here in the SAL Academy Round 7, the Brazilian Grand Prix. We'll see you tomorrow for, hopefully, the Lights and Formula Grand Prix after the Formula 1. Remember, 1 hour later than they normally would be, 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock UK time.